Good evening, Team Yankee fans. You're looking at the board for a Gauntlet game in the Frankfort sector. We are looking at the American setup here. One company commander, one platoon of M1 tanks, and a pair of Cobras. Off to the other side over here, we have our Russian part. There we've got one commander, one company of T-72s, and a pair of Hinds. And their objective over here, ladies and gentlemen, is this. That's the objective of the game. We also have a peculiar little geographic feature there. I call it the Berlin Rock. It is actually a piece of the Berlin Wall. I threw that in for nostalgia. Something to make it different. All right, so Americans are going to be going on turn one. Okay, we're at the end of American Team 1. The platoon under Lieutenant Tran boldly blitzed, and they did their tactical move. No targets to spot, and Lieutenant Eastonoff followed right along with them. So they're making their way to the objective. The Cobras were not standing there doing nothing because toes went their way, and we got one Hind that went down. The other Hind passed its morale check. Now we are coming up to the top part of turn one for the Russians. And here we are at the bottom of turn one for the Soviets. Russian tanks decided to wisely move behind the hill because they were not going to be able to get down the road and rush to the objective on time. The remaining Hind took its chances, and it went after the beloved Cobras. The Cobras fired their tow missiles, missed. But wait, Lieutenant Eastonoff fires his .50 caliber, hits, no effect. Sergeant Tran fires his .50 caliber, hits, and the Hind goes down. The Americans have total helicopter power, total air superiority, ladies and gentlemen, for this fight. It's not over. Now the Cobras get to do what they feel like. More to come on the top of American turn 2. All right, Team Yankee fan, here we are, Team Yankee fans. We are at the end of the American part of turn 2. Two down Soviet Hinds. Eastonoff and Tran's tank could not go any further because they did fire their .50 calibers. However, the remainder of the platoon did go a little bit forward and took some cover. The Cobras have decided to move forward and get a little bit closer to the objective. So now the question comes down to is, how is the T-72 formation going to take on that down there? Stay tuned and find out. Okay, we are at the end of Soviet turn 2. The Russians have decided to do the cross-country dash and hide out behind the bank of woods so that the Cobras could not get an easy shot at them. Other than that, that was the exciting turn 2. Moving on to U.S. turn 3. As we come to the top of turn 3, we end the top of turn 3, the American turn. Eastonoff and Tran, they did their blitz move, they succeeded, and Tran's platoon buddy went and is now owning the objective. Cobras are still there. They fired their toes at those guys, at the T-72s, failed. Eastonoff and Tran are firing, and one T-72 is out. Tran is on a roll today. First he takes out a Hind, and then he takes out a T-72. It is the end of the American turn. What are the Russians going to do? As we are at the bottom half of turn 3, the Russians, in desperation, both the commander and the tank company succeeded in their blitz move, and then they moved their tactical to go in and contest the objective. But the idea was that these three would open up on Sergeant Tran's platoon mate, and they succeeded. Commander took his AA gun to fire on the Cobra, with no effect. This is not over yet. Lieutenant Tran, hearing what happened to his unnamed platoon buddy, gritted his teeth. There was going to be payback tonight. U.S. turn 4. Eastonoff and Tran rolled to see if they would do a blitz move. They did. Combined with their tactical, it allowed them to take positions right by the objective, and they took on the T-72s. Eastonoff had 2 hits, resulting in bailouts. Tran had 1 hit, resulting in a kill, outright kill. At this point, though, this unit has to take a formation test. The leader is too far away. They can't do anything. They did not join at all, so there's no reroll. The Russians failed. They rolled a 2 on their morale roll. It's over, folks. The Americans win the Gauntlet in the Frankfort section. Woo! Yeah. So congratulations, the hero of the day, Sergeant Tran, taking out a Hind and taking out... No, he actually took out 2 Hinds, and he ended up taking out 1 T-72. Commendations all around. Well, that's it for this slugfest of Team Yankee. I hope you enjoyed it. One last look on the battlefield here. And with that, we bid you, as we look at the Berlin Wall here, or at least a piece of it, a fond farewell. Enjoy.